Yo, what's going on, guys? Today we're going to be talking about the brand new Zane class mod from DLC 4. Now, obviously, this is going to include spoilers to the new DLC. Gearbox and 2K Games actually gave me early access to the brand new DLC, so I've already tested all of this stuff really in depth, and I'm going to be breaking down the new class mod exactly and why it is pretty misleading in my opinion. And yeah, so that's what we're going to be getting into today. Now, spoiler alert, I'm about to put it up on the screen. All right, I had to give you a second. All right, so the new Zane class mode is called the Hustler, and it's actually a pretty cool effect, in my opinion. But like I said, it's a bit misleading, and that's what we're going to be explaining today. So let me just go ahead and read it off to you. Damaging an enemy with a non-critical hit grants Zane a stacking plus 25% increased critical hit damage, and a plus 5% chance for non-crits to score a crit, which then consumes all stacks, and this skill will stack up to 5 times. So that sounds very cool. Let's go ahead and start breaking it down. We will get back to this. These are the two named enemies that can drop this class mod. So yeah, anyways, basically, like this class mod says, each stack, so non-crits give stacks. These stacks give 25% crit damage and a 5% chance for a non-crit to become a crit. Now, when you score a crit, your stacks basically refresh. So whenever you score a crit on a non-crit, your stacks, yeah, reset. That's pretty clear. So basically how this works though is in the math, and this 25% crit damage bonus is not exactly true, and that's what I'm going to be explaining to you guys. So the first thing I have to tell you guys is there are two kinds of crit damages in this game. There is regular crit damage, and then there's what's considered post-add crit. So if you guys are flak players, you know that there are regular crits and megavore crits, and then there are fadeaway crits, which are considered post-add crit. And for those of you who aren't flak players, maybe you've heard that when you're in fadeaway, you should still aim for an enemy crit spot because you'll get the most damage. And it's because it's two different kinds of crit. So essentially, the Hustler is post-add crit. I'm going to explain to you guys why this is misleading to how this class mod reads, and also why it makes some unfortunate things happen, unfortunately. But yeah, let's just break it down. So we're going to do some damage testing. We're going to be using this Nebula, which is 3,016 damage. Now, keep in mind I'm using the shock version, so this gets a penalty against flesh, and we're shooting the test dummy, which is considered flesh. So our base damage is going to be 1960, which I'm going to show you guys in a second. So 1960 and yeah, 0.4. Besides that, I have no points in any skills except for borrowed time, but this won't affect our damage. And then no skill points spent otherwise, and we have no guardian rank. I just got to show you guys this for the test. And let's go ahead and just shoot the test dummy a couple times and record what we get. So basically against the test dummy, you guys can see we have 1961, so the game runs up. Okay, so we just scored a crit and then we shot another shot. So right now we have 1 stack, 2 stacks, 3 stacks. Okay, so I believe at 3 stacks we got 34, 31, that looks like. So 3 stacks, 34, 31. Let's actually go until we get 5 stacks, just so I can show you guys what I'm talking about. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so our next crit, 44, 12. Perfect. So we're going to use 5 stacks just to show you guys the math, and it is 44, 12. And I'll even confirm the 3 stacks for you guys. So basically, why is it important that there are 2 different types of crit damage? Well, for one, post-add crit only gets post-add crit bonuses, and let me tell you what I mean. So a regular critical hit is calculated by the base damage, or all your damage that's not crit damage. Then you get the ×2 crit modifier, and then you multiply this by all of your crit bonuses. Whereas post-add crit gets the base damage, and then it only gets post-add crit bonuses. It doesn't get your other critical bonuses, and it also doesn't get that ×2 modifier. So let me show you guys exactly what I mean. So we take 1960.4, and we multiply this by 3 stacks, which would be 75%, and then 5 stacks, which is 125%. Let me also point out that technically this is a parentheses 1 plus crit bonuses. And it's because of how these numbers are represented in the damage formula, which I'll show you guys exactly what I mean right now. So basically, in our first test, we're going to plug in the post-add formula because, I mean, that's what it is. I've already done the math. So it's going to be 1960.4 times 1 plus our crit bonuses. So let's first do 1 plus 0.75. So 1960.4 times 1.75. This gives us 3430.7, which is exactly the number we got in our first test. And then let's plug in 1.25. So 1 plus 1.25. So let's take 1960.4 times 2.25, because it's 1 plus 1.25. That's why that's important. And we get 4410.9. So this number was slightly off, and it may be because the game is a little bit weird. There's always some rounding up and then some rounding down, and just yeah. Anyways, but it's close enough. It's really close. And that basically confirms for us that this is post-add crit damage. Now, there are two issues with that. The two main issues are that we will not get the ×2 modifier that critical hits should receive, and we also don't get any crit bonuses that we add to our weapons. Now, let me show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. So what I'm talking about is post-add crit bonuses. First of all, don't go towards normal critical hits. So if we take a normal critical hit, it is 3921. You can see that clearly. I wrote that multiple times. So a crit is 3921. Let's go ahead and score some non-crits. 3, 4. So we scored 4 non-crits. That means we should have a 100% crit bonus, right? Well, when we shoot the head, it is still 3921. So our post-add crit bonus does not go towards actual critical hits. And then the second thing that I said was our actual crit bonuses do not go towards our do not go towards our post-add crits. I want to call it crit 1 and crit 2. So basically, Hustler is crit 2, which is post-add crit. Those bonuses don't go towards crit 1, and crit 1 bonuses do not go towards crit 2. So, for example, right here, I'm going to show you while barrier is active, we have this anointment. I'm going to activate my barrier, and we're going to see if we get any bonus critical hit damage on our body shots. So when I throw this, actually, I'm going to do it till we reset. Okay, so we have 5 stacks for sure. 4412. And if we scroll up, so if you're watching the video, we had 5 stacks for sure. You can rewind it back. It's just really convenient. Anyways, 4412, you can see that was the number we recorded at 5 stacks earlier on. When we activated our barrier, we did not get the crit damage. And let me go ahead and show you that the crit damage is actually working when we hit a real crit. Because if we showed you guys a second ago, our real crits deal 3921, but when the barrier is active, we actually get 6666. So let's go ahead and show you the math behind this. So we have 1960 times 2 times 1 plus our crit bonuses, which is 0.7. So 1960 times 2 times 1.7. And once again, the game rounds up or rounds down. Actually, we were supposed to do 1960.4, but as you can see, our barrier crit anointment is working, but it does not give us the bonus when we get Hustler crits, because those are post-add crits, and basically it just doesn't mesh. So this effect, unfortunately, is misleading, and it doesn't work how I wished it worked. And yeah, now let's just talk about the class mod in general, because this is a very cool class mod. It does have a very cool effect. It does have some synergy with different weapons. And if you're using this class mod, you're going to be freezing everything in the game like forever. Basically, this class mod can roll Brain Freeze, this class mod can roll Like a Ghost, and this class mod can roll Adrenaline. So those are the 3 skills. Mine has Brain Freeze and Like a Ghost, but you can also get Adrenaline, which is this skill right here in the green tree. Basically, this gives you action skill cooldown rate while your shield is full. Now, 2 out of 3 of these skills are really bad. Adrenaline and Like a Ghost, at least for late game. Adrenaline is fine early game and for story playthroughs, but it is not a good skill late game. And that is because late game, you're going to have some Guardian rank and you're going to have access to Topped Off, which is this skill right here. And cooldown rate has diminishing returns. It's just not worth it. The only good skill on here is Brain Freeze, and this is only good for mobbing. This class mod, unfortunately, if the effect worked correctly and we can actually boost it with all of our crit damage bonuses, then I think this class mod would have some legs. But unfortunately, this class mod essentially gives you 125% bonus damage, 1 out of 5 pellets, essentially is how it works, because you have, and it can be less or more from there, but that is the average of it, just based on how it reads and how it works. And unfortunately, this is not a replacement for Seein Dead. You will be able to make some cool builds with this. I do recommend you guys experiment with it. I really hope they end up changing this class mod. I hope they change the skills and the effects. I hope they buff old Zane class mods, guys. Unfortunately, I've ran this through Mallow on Takedown a couple times, and it felt like I'm just running any normal Calm Cool Collective build. I really hope you guys experiment with this. I will be experimenting with it in the future to see if we can find some really cool synergies. There is some cool stuff, like occasionally you will be able to score a King's Call ricochet on a body shot and stuff like that. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section down below. But don't worry, I really promise you guys, you should test with this. I guarantee there's something crazy that I haven't discovered yet. I know I'm act like a freaking big brain all the time, but I overlook things. I really recommend you guys play with this because I want someone to find something very, very cool with this class mod. I'm going to be messing around with it and see what I can come up with, and I'll let you guys know in the future. But like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section down below. I'll see you guys in the next one. I'm out.